Hey you guys, welcome to the video by me, Lonnie's. Okay, so this video is a daily dollar short. I'm so sorry. I'm a procrastinator, guys. Okay, I'm sorry. It's supposed to be out yesterday for like the first week of December being done, but it is out today. And I'm posting it at a different time than usual because I kind of fell asleep today. You know, I took a day off school, needed time to catch up on sleep, and I fell asleep the entire day. So I'm sorry that it's getting posted kind of late. I don't know, depending on the time zones. It's late for me, it's like 8. But, yeah, I know a lot of you guys in my poll are like, where's Sakuratsu? Where's Sakuratsu? But don't worry, you guys. I'm cooking, okay? Just let me work. But, this video, look, he's not good. So sorry. Apologies. Okay, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it anyways because, you know, Sakuratsu is Sakuratsu and anything that has Sakuratsu in it is good. Right? Hello? My money? Okay, let me shut up. let me just shut up and go to the freaking video. Hope you guys enjoy.
Stop rolling around on the floor and work on your receipts.
Ugh, I'm tired!
Did you just say you're tired?
Suna and Osamu were sprawled on the living room couch, the glow of the TV casting soft light across their faces as Ginny and Georgia played in the background. Both were rolling their eyes in unison as Abby said another aggravating thing this season. I swear, it feels like they wrote her just to ruin my life. Suna muttered while Osamu groaned. It feels personal almost. She's so insufferable. From the kitchen came a sudden, high-pitched, obnoxious baby voice. Yeah baby, I miss you too. Atsumu cooed, followed by a chuckle. Alright, just try and have fun. I'll call you later, bye. Both boys groaned, Osamu fake gagging. Atsumu appeared from the kitchen a few seconds later, opening the fridge and pulling out some sad-looking takeout. He popped it in the microwave, then collapsed on the couch, letting out a dramatic sigh as he slouched against the cushion. What's wrong with you? Osamu asked, raising an eyebrow. Atsumu tilted his head, one brow arched. What do you mean? You was just acting like you were in a Hallmark movie, and now you look like you just broke up. I just miss him. I'm tired of this long distance shit. Atsumu admitted with a shrug, glancing between the two. You two are so lucky. You'll practically live with each other. Osamu frowned. Is he not coming down here for Christmas? Was that not the plan? Atsumu bit the inside of his cheek. He didn't say anything about it. So, Suna prompted. I'm waiting for him to say something first. Atsumu said, voice quiet. If he doesn't say it, it's basically just like a confirmation he doesn't really want to go. Suna and Osamu exchanged a look before bursting out laughing. Atsumu rolled his eyes and muttered, I hate y'all. Osamu calmed down, though a grin still tugged at his lips. Why are you acting like that? This isn't you, Suna said, placing his hand on Atsumu's thigh. What are y'all even talking about? Atsumu snapped, swatting Suna's hand away. You aren't usually this anxious about whether your partner wants to see you, Osamu said, eyes narrowing slightly. Suna smirked. It's because he's in love. Atsumu shook his head and rolled his eyes. You guys are dumb. You ever think he might be waiting for you to affirm if you want him over? Atsumu made a scrunched face that basically screamed that's stupid and said exactly that. That's stupid. Omi knows me well enough that everything I say is it. It's not like I'd randomly change my mind or something. Maybe he's gone all weird since he's in love with you too. Osamu added casually. Shut up. The pair shared another knowing look and silently crept away. Where are y'all going? You can have the remote, Osamu called back. Atsumu squinted suspiciously, but ultimately shrugged, put on Netflix and went on the 100. Can you get my food out of the microwave? He muttered, sinking his head into the Euro pillow Sakusa had given him, the room silent. Meanwhile, across the hall, Osamu and Suna sat cross-legged on the floor of Osamu's room. Alright, Suna said, trying not to laugh. Let's figure out why Sakusa isn't saying anything. Osamu nodded. And why Atsumu's acting like that? Suna cackled. That's a case we aren't gonna solve in just 24 hours. Osamu pulled out his phone and dialed Sakusa. Osamu. Sakusa answered, his voice groggy. Sorry, were you sleeping? Osamu asked, wincing glancing slightly. I was dozing off, Sakusa admitted. Didn't get any sleep last night. Why not? Suna's voice cut in, teasing. Because Atsumu insisted we stayed on the phone until this morning, and I had a family meeting to attend. The two exchanged a knowing look and sighed. Let's cut to the chase. I'm not following, Sakusa murmured. Are you coming down here for Christmas? Silence. Hello, I don't know, Sakusa admitted. Why, he hasn't said anything, Sakusa admitted as Suna covered his mouth to stifle a laugh. Why don't you just say something? Osamu suggested. Well, we all know Atsumu, Sakusa said slowly. If he doesn't say something, he doesn't want it. You mean he didn't tell you he wanted you over? Osamu asked while Sakusa hesitated. Well, he did, but that was like. He dragged out the word, making Suna smirk. Take your time. It was like 4 months ago, he finished. But we all know that he's the type to press until he can't press anymore. You're not wrong. So I probably just won't come down, Sakusa said quietly. Osamu and Suna's eyes went wide at the same time. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Suna whispered. Shut your corny ass up, Suna, Sakusa said from the other line. Alright bro, let's pretend you aren't coming, Osamu suggested. Well, that's what was already gonna happen, so I don't know what you mean by pretend. Well, if you'd let me finish a chat. I mean, you tell him you can't come, cause of some family thing or whatever, and I'll sneak you in, Osamu said, grinning. Sakusa laughed. Okay, yeah, let's do it. That'll be funny. I like him a lot, Suna said, laughing while Osamu smiled as he nodded. Okay, text him, and make it believable in your Sakusa way. Okay, I'll update you, Sakusa replied, and hung up. Osamu walked into the living room to see Atsumu sprawled on the couch, phone in hand. Who are you texting? Me, Atsumu muttered, glancing up. Now's a good time to ask him over, Osamu said casually, dropping next to him. Atsumu shook his head. He told me he couldn't go because of a family thing. He set his phone down, staring at it. Actually though, isn't that crazy? Osamu shrugged. I guess. Could have been last minute. He might as well just break up with me, Atsumu muttered. Osamu raised an eyebrow. What? That's a bit dramatic, don't you think? No, Atsumu said firmly. If you're not spending Christmas with your partner, that's grounds for a split. Osamu blinked. You've only been dating like half a year. So, Osamu repeated. Not being able to come because of a family thing isn't crazy. Don't jump to that conclusion. Atsumu rolled his eyes and started texting Sakusa again. I already made up my mind, I'm just telling you, he muttered, making Osamu shook his head. Why are you texting him then? Atsumu made a face that screamed obvious. Because I'm in love with him, Osamu exhaled, shaking his head, and got up to text Sakusa himself, smiling faintly despite the chaos. Osamu and Sakusa private messages. I have good and bad news. Which one you wanna hear first? Bad. Atsumu thinks you wanna break up with him. The fuck is his problem? I don't know, but don't vent to me. The good news is you can come in earlier so we can avoid this conflict a little more. Okay, you don't seem as excited as I hoped you'd be. I'm mad that he thinks I wanna break up with him. He's literally so stupid, and he didn't even say anything like that when I told him I couldn't go. He just said okay, that's fine. He can sometimes be an avoidant character. Anyhow, I think you should come in Thursday cause he's shopping with our mum that day. Okay, hey, cheer up. I'm gonna tear him a new one when I see him, Osamu. And I will support you in this. Make sure you pack enough for 3 weeks. 3. He mentioned to me one time he wanted you to stay for that long. And now that idiot thinks I wanna break up with him. Okay, whatever, I'm mad now. I'll see you Thursday. Sakusa was walking toward the train station when his phone buzzed. He glanced down and saw Atsumu's name flashing on the screen. With a small sigh, he answered. What? He said, his voice clipped. Why are you mad? What did I do? Atsumu's voice was defensive. Sakusa let out another, heavier sigh. I'm not mad, and you didn't do anything, he said, though the lie felt heavy on his tongue. Then why are you answering your phone like that? Atsumu pressed. Because I can, Sakusa muttered, the words sharp but automatic. Alright. Atsumu's voice was light, but still carried an edge. Well, how about I call you later when you aren't in a pissy mood? The line went dead before Sakusa could respond, and he let out a shaky breath. He pressed the phone against his chest for a second, debating whether to call someone who could put him in his place. With a decisive tap, he dialed Osamu and hit FaceTime. Osamu's face appeared almost immediately, concern written across his features. "Why do you look like you're about to cry?" Sakusa sniffled once and muttered, "It's cold." "Right," Osamu said, clearly unconvinced. Then Sakusa heard quiet snickers in the background. "Tell Suna to shut up." There was a brief pause, and Osamu rolled his eyes. "Suna shut up. He's mad at me," Sakusa admitted, voice low. Osamu raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "Because I was still kind of mad at him for thinking I was breaking up with him, and not saying anything to me about it," Sakusa explained, rubbing his temple. "Well, what did you do to make him mad?" Osamu asked, skeptical. "I guess, you could maybe probably say I was giving him attitude," Sakusa admitted quietly. "But it's of course selective." Osamu chuckled. "So what I'm hearing is, you gave my brother attitude for, in his mind, no reason, and you're basically doing the same thing he did to you?" "What are you talking about?" Sakusa asked, though his tone betrayed that he already knew. "You're mad at him for not telling you how he feels," Osamu said calmly. "And now you're doing that exact same thing." Sakusa's eyes flicked to the arriving train. "My train's here, I gotta go." Suna's laughter echoed in the background. "Him and Atsumu are the same people." Sakusa glared. "I better see you here in 3 hours," he said, then hung up. Sliding his phone into his pocket, he boarded the train and found 2 empty seats. He set his duffel bag and backpack on the extra one, put on his headphones, and let himself drift into thoughts about the conversation he knew he and Atsumu were eventually going to have. By the time he reached Hyogo, Sakusa was leaning against his duffel bag, on the edge of sleep. He felt a shadow fall over him and took off his headphones. "Hello," he said, spotting Osamu and Suna standing over him. Osamu nodded, signaling him to follow. Sakusa got up, shouldering his bags with a huff. "This is the first time I've had to carry my own bags," he muttered as Suna scoffed. "Atsumu really treats you like a princess." Sakusa just nodded. "And you're over here giving him attitude," Osamu said, eyebrow raised. Sakusa sighed. "I'll talk to him when I see him." "You better," Osamu replied. Then, brightening, he added, "Okay, so when we get there, you're gonna help us wrap gifts. Also, I told Atsumu to call me before he gets home so we can cook." "What does that have to do with me wrapping gifts?" Sakusa asked, confused. Suna grinned. "They're letting you stay there for free, you gotta do some type of labor." Sakusa groaned. "And what labor are you doing?" Suna grinned and he shrugged, saying, "I'm driving. When he says he's on the way, you can just hide in my room or something." Sakusa smirked slightly. "Should I get him a gift, or should I just be the gift?" Suna snickered. "You should be the gift." "Oh my gosh, he's probably getting you the craziest things right now. Please don't make me feel worse," Sakusa muttered. By the time they reached the car, Osamu had Sakusa load his own bags into the trunk. Sakusa climbed into the truck, exhaling heavily. "You guys should learn to accommodate your guests," he grumbled. "We aren't Tsumu, thankfully," Osamu replied, smirking. Sakusa opened his mouth to retort when Osamu's phone rang, making all 3 freeze. Osamu picked up and put it on speaker. "What's up, Tsumu?" "I'm mad," Atsumu said immediately. Suna rolled his eyes, earning a soft snicker from Sakusa. Osamu quickly shushed him. "Oh no, please don't be mad, Tsumu, I'm scared." "Shut up, Rin," Atsumu continued. "I'm mad at Omi, but since he's my future husband, I need to get him a Christmas gift for whenever the hell I see him next, which I don't even know when that'll be, so, what should I get him?" Osamu shrugged. "I don't know and I don't really care. When are you gonna be back home?" "I don't know, Fatus. All you wanna do is make cookies." Atsumu grumbled, making Suna laugh. "I'll call you when I'm 5 minutes away," Atsumu said. "Bet," Osamu said, ending the call. He turned to Sakusa. "Guess we've got some time to kill." Sakusa rolled his eyes and leaned his head against the window, letting the hum of the truck and the chaotic energy of the twins wash over him. Thoughts of Atsumu and their conversation, and his own stubborn pride, kept him from falling asleep. The living room smelled faintly of wrapping paper and cinnamon from the candles Osamu had lit earlier. Sakusa had been helping wrap gifts for over an hour and a half, and by now, his patience was fraying. He tossed a poorly wrapped box onto the floor and flopped onto the back of the couch, letting out a long, tired sigh. "I'm tired. I just want to lay down," he admitted, eyes closing briefly. "Honestly, I don't bank on him coming anytime soon," Osamu muttered while sitting down, leaning on his palms. "You better get to wrapping shopping, Kyumi. Suna chimed in, smirking as he gestured toward the remaining pile of gifts. Sakusa groaned but didn't move. The room was quiet for a moment, then a sharp knock at the door interrupted the lull. OMG, I think my Shein package is here, Suna said excitedly. Osamu unlocked the door and peeked out, and froze. There was Atsumu, standing with multiple shopping bags clutched in his hands, cheeks flushed from the cold. Atsumu, what are you doing here? Osamu's voice started loud and gradually lowered as the shock registered. Atsumu flinched. What the fuck are you yelling for? I'm here because I'm done shopping, Dumbus. Well, Atsumu, Osamu said, voice still low and controlled. I think you should have called me before. Behind the door, Osamu was frantically signaling to Sakusa, who had just been sitting in shock on the couch, to move somewhere and hide. Okay, smartus, I was trying. Atsumu snapped, exasperated. You weren't picking up and I called, like, 8 different times. He sighed and then kicked the door open. Osamu tensed, fully expecting them to get caught, but Atsumu strode in confidently and dropped the bags onto the couch with a soft thud. He slouched over, rubbing his shoulders and letting out a heavy huff. Smells like Omi in here, he commented, closing his eyes. You sound delusional. Atsumu. Suna jumped out of Osamu's room, running to the couch to hug him. Atsumu raised an eyebrow at Osamu, who only smiled tight-lipped and shrugged. Suna released him after a moment. I didn't get Yall's gifts yet, so I don't really care if you look through the bags. Did you end up getting Sakusa a gift? Osamu asked, curiosity sharpening his tone. Atsumu nodded, his lips quirking slightly. Yeah, but I'm worried that by the next time I see him, he won't even want it anymore. Suna and Osamu exchanged a knowing look, and Suna asked carefully, why were you mad again? He was just giving me attitude for no reason. Atsumu muttered, rolling his eyes. It pissed me off. For the next 15 minutes, Atsumu vented about Sakusa, how infuriating he could be, how silent treatment made him crazy. As he was about to continue, he heard Suna let out a heavy sigh. Just tell me to shut up next time, he said. Finally, shut up. Suna deadpanned. Osamu turned to Atsumu, face softening. You know I love you, right? Atsumu shot him a disgusted look. What did you do? I didn't do anything negative, per se, Osamu said, confusion lacing his tone. Atsumu sighed, exasperated. Get on with it. Osamu left the room, leaving Atsumu and Suna to continue talking, though Suna eventually covered Atsumu's eyes. I'm only into the freaky shit with my boyfriend, Rin, hate to break it to ya. Suna pinched his ear. Shut up. Then Osamu returned, Sakusa behind him. He gently guided Sakusa into the center of the room. Suna turned to Atsumu. You ready? Let's speed whatever this is up, Atsumu said, rolling his shoulders. Suna counted down, and uncovered Atsumu's eyes. Atsumu's brows furrowed in confusion, and he blinked at the figure in front of him. Slowly, a smile spread across his face. Baby, are you real? He murmured, cupping Sakusa's face in his hands. Sakusa nodded, a soft chuckle escaping him as Atsumu's thumbs brushed his cheeks. The kiss came naturally, warm and lingering, and for a moment, the world shrank to just the two of them. Osamu grabbed Suna by the back of his neck. Now you two can finally talk, he said, and they quietly left the room. Atsumu pulled back slightly, raising an eyebrow. I thought you had a last-minute family thing, what happened? Sakusa smiled tightly, settling beside him. I lied. Right, Atsumu drawled, sitting down on the couch. Sakusa explained, voice low but rapid. It was so I could surprise you here. I thought you didn't even want me here anymore because you didn't ask if I was still coming, and you're just the type of person to continuously ask. But you didn't. So, Osamu told me I should just tell you I can't so that it could be a bigger surprise. But then, Osamu told me that you thought I was basically breaking up with you, but you never told me how you felt about me not going. So I got mad. That's why I was giving you attitude today. Atsumu cackled, cutting him off. Shut up baby, you're rambling, he said, grinning. Sakusa pouted slightly, a small exhale of frustration. Well, I didn't say anything because you didn't say anything, Atsumu said, leaning closer. The only reason I thought you wanted to break up with me was just paranoia. I wanted to prepare for it. You're a dumbus, Sakusa said, swatting him lightly. Atsumu grinned, grabbed the back of Sakusa's neck, and kissed him again. Sakusa pushed him back gently before it went too far. What did you get me? Sakusa asked, big eyes looking at him with curiosity. Atsumu exhaled audibly through his nose, a laugh escaping. He picked up the first bag and pulled out a pair of plush fox slippers. You mentioned these one time when we were window shopping over FaceTime. You're so cute, Sakusa murmured, running a finger over the soft fur. I got you my sane laundry detergent. Atsumu continued, grinning. You always say I smell good, so no. I need to make sure you smell me all the time. Sakusa rolled his eyes. I got you a Christmas cookie scented candle, because you said you didn't like the generic clean scents people kept giving you. And weighted blanket, he said, showing it off. Because you're anemic and shit. Sakusa smacked him lightly, noticing that Atsumu was still reaching for things. You're still going? It's just 2 more, promise. A leather jacket came next. Sakusa's eyes widened. Achu, how much was this? Atsumu cringed, looking away. No, tell me, Sakusa demanded, grabbing his face. Around 400. Atsumu admitted, trying to be as quiet as possible. Sakusa gasped, lips parted, but Atsumu just reached for the last item, a hair diffuser. Unable to contain himself, Sakusa jumped on Atsumu and pecked his lips. I love you so much. Thank you for all this. Atsumu nodded, smiling softly. Sakusa's voice dropped, shyly. I didn't get you anything. The gift was supposed to be me. Atsumu cackled, pressing a kiss to the corner of Sakusa's eye. I'm okay with that too. Sakusa's grin returned, brighter than before. I'll make sure I get you something next time, he promised. Osamu and Suna peeked back in. Are you two finally done? Atsumu looked at them, swoonting. Stop acting like you didn't like being in there alone with him. Suna turned to Osamu, confused. Osamu avoided Suna's stare, his head tilted in mock confusion, watching Atsumu with a quiet smile. Sakusa laughed softly at the whole scene, leaning into Atsumu's shoulder.